Bob Arum's come out recently and said that the likelihood is that Inoue will make his American debut on April the 25th in Las Vegas, and he'll be facing off against WBO 118-pound champ Riel Casimero. Now, for me, this is a fascinating fight, and for the rest of this video, I'm going to be looking at the strengths and weaknesses of both fighters and how maybe the fight can play out. So to start, we'll have a look at Riel Casimero, and we'll begin with the Charlie Edwards fight. Now, I do think that fight came a bit too early for Charlie. I think it was a baptism of fire, and he was thrown in at the deep end. I know he wanted that fight, but it was a hard fight to take with a seasoned campaigner like Casimiro that early on in your career. Now, if you look at the beginning of the fight, you'll see Casimiro likes to apply pressure. He likes to see what you've got, keeps his hands very low, which isn't a great thing in my opinion, but he keeps his hands low, and as soon as he finds out that you can't hurt him or you're not going to cause him real damage, then he starts to bully and he starts to intimidate. And he likes to come forward, throw loads of punches, and if you don't have the strength or the technique to keep him off, he starts to dominate and bully and intimidate. And that's what happened with Charlie. Even though Charlie was moving beautifully and stuff, as soon as Casimiro finds out that you cannot hurt him, he will bully and he will intimidate. And that's the way he likes to fight. So what is Casimiro like when that bullying, pressure, intimidation tactics don't work? Well, let's have a look at his fight against Maruti Muthaleni a while back. And nothing that Casimiro could do could stop the onslaught of Muthaleni, and he kept coming, and in the end Casimiro quit towards the end of the 5th round. Now, another fight I'd like to have a look at is the fight against Zorro Sultan. Now again, Casimiro comes out and tries to get into his rhythm, tries to apply pressure, tries to control the centre of the ring, but Sultan's having none of this and basically stood his ground and outboxed Casimiro. And towards the end of that fight, Casimiro is becoming more and more ragged. His normally low hands are getting lower and lower, and he has no answer to the things that Zorro Sultan's doing. And when the scorecards come in, Sultan is ahead by a long way on all the judges' scorecards. So Casimiro seems to lose heart. If he can't do what he wants to do in that boxing ring, he loses heart. So I really thought these were the keys to beating Casimiro. So I was very shocked at his performance against Alani Tete, because he showed a completely different side to his boxing game. Now, if you look at the beginning of the fight, you'll see Tete trying to use his reach and height to dominate Casimiro, but Casimiro's not having any of it. He's just stepping back, stepping out of range, waiting for an opportunity. And when it comes, you notice he comes in really quickly, gets his lead foot outside of Tete's lead foot, orthodox versus southpaw, and manages to land some strikes. And this is what led to the knockout. But incredibly patient from Casimiro, incredibly disciplined, and a great game plan. And like I say, a Casimiro I'd not seen before and was very unexpected. Now, if he can show that discipline and some new wrinkles to his game against Inoue, I think he has a chance. For I think Casimiro has the power to trouble anybody, but he has to have a really good game plan in there for fighting Inoue, and he has to stick to it. I think the chances of him winning are quite slim, but I think he has a chance if his team and himself can form a game plan and he sticks to it, because he showed that against Tete, and it showed very disciplined, very controlled boxing and a great boxing brain. So Casimiro and his team have to put in a great game plan, and they have to work on that defense of Casimiro's, because if you go in there with your hands low against Nayoya Inoue, you will get punished. You will get hit hard and you will get hit regularly. Now let's have a look at Nayoya Inoue. aka the Monster. Now, Inoue's rise to the top has been fast, it's been rapid, and he's come a long way from the fighter I first saw in the Asian Championships maybe 7-8 years ago. Now, Inoue's last fight was against Nonito Donaire, and for me, I think it was a step back, it was a turn the clock back performance from Donaire. He fought out of his skin and put in a magnificent performance, but for me, Inoue was leaving himself too open at times. He got caught by a left hook in the second round, and from what Inoue and his father say, this gave him blurred vision for the rest of the fight. Now, to go another 10 rounds fighting a world-class operator like Donaire with blurred vision is an achievement, but it could have been that he was suffering from that and he left himself open due to not being able to see properly. But I do think it was a great learning fight for Inoue to be in there for 12 rounds with a seasoned campaigner. A wily old fox like Donaire was absolutely gold. You can't buy that sort of experience. And like I said, his defense needs to be tighter, but like I said, he faced adversity and came through it, which again is a fantastic learning curve for any young fighter. Now, the one thing Inoue has is beautiful balance. If you look at his footwork, the way he moves around the ring, beautiful balance. And the other thing he does is, let's say for the sake of argument, he throws a jab. Now he throws that jab and allows his body weight to come back. So he's in balance and he can deliver maximum power with the right hand. And if he follows up with a hook after that, he's in balance. And so it allows him to put that weight into the next punch. And Inoue's balance, and like I say, bringing the body weight back is second to none in today's boxing. And up until the Donaire fight, I thought his defense was getting better and better. And for whatever reason, like I said, maybe the occasion got to him, or maybe he just went a bit gung-ho on the night, or he had the blurred vision. His defense was lacking a little bit. Now he'll have to be on point with Casimiro. So from the opening bell, Inoue needs to come out and he needs to establish his range, his distance, control that distance. Inoue's got a lovely jab, a beautiful jab to the body, which you can't see coming. You have no idea when it's coming because he dips down, looks like he's going to throw it to the head, dips down, lovely jab to the body. And I think he needs to go out there from the opening bell and show Casimiro who's boss. Not allow Casimiro to get into any sort of rhythm, not allow him to bully him. And when Casimiro comes forward, Inoue needs to step off at an angle because Casimiro loves to come forward in that straight line throwing punches. And Inoue needs to use that beautiful footwork, side to side. Like I said, establish that jab, establish the range, establish the distance, and discourage Casimiro right from the opening bell. So if Inoue comes out, sticks to his boxing, keeps his defense nice and tight, I can see him cruising to a comfortable points win or even stopping Casimiro later on in the fight.